Rika said I should get straight to the point instead of telling my long story first. So here we go. I thought Capcom missed an opportunity to bring more monkey or fanged beast to the New World. There you go. That's it. How I came to that conclusion wasn't because I just simply observed that the Rajang was the lone fanged beast in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Oh no. At first, I had this completely different thought that led to a whole bunch of unnecessary research that I'm going to share with you in this video. I want to do it this way because I think it's silly how I got there, and I didn't want to forget. So, the initial thought I had was that Iceborne never really felt icy enough for me. Whether it was Capcom's intention or not doesn't really matter to me. And to me, the Shrieking Legiana and Viper Tobikatachi and Beo Todosu felt quite lazy to me. And speaking of the snow pie scene, why were the Jura and Beo called Todosu and not Jura Seoth and Beo Seoth like their predecessors, Plesioth and Lavasioth? If I ever get the chance to interview Capcom developers, that's definitely one of my burning questions I have to have an answer to. Anyway, like I said, Iceborne just didn't feel icy enough to me, and I really was expecting some of the older ice monsters like Blangonga, Zamtrios, and Gammoth to make an appearance in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. So, of course, that train of thought led me to what I always end up thinking. How would I have done it? What monster list would I have created to fit the ice monsters I wanted to see? And this is where all the unnecessary research began. And I began by opening up the Hunter's Notes and looked over the monsters in the bestiary to see how I might fit the other monsters I wanted to see in the game. And now I present that research to you. World had 36 monsters, or has, whichever. 3 of which are from other video game franchises, which now brings the total to 33. 19 of those monsters were original while 14 were returning, and of those 14, 3 were variants. Compare that with Iceborne and it's wildly different. Iceborne has 35 monsters in total. Of that 35, 17 were original, and 11 of those originals were variants, leaving us with 18 returning monsters, and 8 of those were variants, bringing Iceborne's variant total to a whopping 19. Compare that to World, which only had 3. We might as well have called the expansion Monster Hunter World Variant. Anyway, this research had led me to the conclusion that all I had to do was remove some of the variants and insert the ice monsters I wanted to see. And voila, fixed Iceborne. But then I was like, well, which variants do I pick? So then I changed my mind to, let's see how many monsters are actually in the Hoarfrost Reach first. Then maybe I can just simply remove some of those. But then, when I did that, I found that some of the monsters that were in the Hoarfrost Reach, I actually wanted to keep, but just move them around. For example, while I did think the Viper Kadachi, Fulgur Anjanath, and Shrieking Legiana were lazy in design, I thought that maybe they would fit better in different locales. Like, I thought removing the Viper Kadachi would remove one of the few paralyzed monsters in the game, and I felt it would have been a better fit in the Rotten Vale. Never mind that they already have a great Gyros there. Anyway, then I started thinking, well, where should the Fulgur Anjanath and Shrieking Leggy go? Or why is the Shrieking Leggy just the icier version of the original Leggy? And then I was like, damn it, man, you're getting off track. So then I calmed down and went back to my original thought. Let's just remove a few variants and insert a few of my old favorite ice monsters. But the longer and harder I looked, the harder it got. Because I did like a lot of the variants they added. That's when I found out of the corner of my eye that I noticed that the Nargacuga was one of the few returning monsters that didn't get a variant. And now I was like, damn it, I want to add a Narg variant. Or do I just remove the Narg? This was all becoming very, very frustrating. And I felt like I was never going to find a way, or what the hell did I get myself into? But I stuck with it and continued to examine each variant on the list. For example, the Brute Tigrex was my least favorite. And then I thought, well, if I get rid of that and then add a Narg variant, that's just tit for tat or something like, it just felt petty. So then I keep scrolling down the list and I come across the Raging Brachydios and Furious Rajang. And I remember them releasing those two hunts together, and thought that the Raging Brack hunt was epic and the Furious Rajang not so much. And so then I thought, well, that's it. Let's just get rid of the Furious Rajang and done. Easy peasy, right? And then that's when I had a moment of clarity. The Rajang was the lone monkey in the New World. And the answer to all my questions is that we just needed to add more monkeys in the New World. This would chip away at the variant count in Iceborne and allow me to insert more different monsters. Yes, right? I got, yes, right? Now, it was, who do we bring back? So I decided to settle on the Blangonga, Kongalala, Quechawacha, Lagombi, Azorios, and a new Nagakuga variant. But then, the original problem came right back. Who do I get rid of? And to be honest, this part I haven't really settled, and it's a constant conflict. However, I did have a gut reaction. And my gut said Black Veil Hazak, Ruiner Nergigante, both Garugas, Seething Basil Juice, and either Elatrion or Fatalis. But please don't take me seriously, okay? All 5 of these in some way influenced the story or had some kind of cutscene that would require rewriting certain story elements or cutscenes, and I just don't want to do that right now, and I don't know if I ever want to. Right? All I can think is that even though I have no idea what monsters I would have removed, hey, I know who says that we have to, right? I'm just going off an imaginary restriction that we have to keep keep the list of 35 monsters. And that if they were hell-bent on fitting Rajang in the New World, then maybe they should have considered, right, bringing over the other Fanged beasts. Because I remember one time, right, they had this weekly hunt where it was like, hey, hunt 2 Fanged beasts or something like that. And I was like, well, that's great. I only have one choice, right? Rajang or Mormat Rajang. I suppose they could have just, not had the Rajang come to the New World, but whatever. This is the 13th episode of missed opportunities of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. That there should have been more Fanged beasts in the New World, whether they be returning or entirely new monsters.